We have corned beef brisket. This bad boy is 10.91 pounds. If you can see, it is a whole brisket with the corned beef seasoning pack on back. And this thing has some good pliability to it. So y'all stay tuned. We cooking up corned beef right here on the rolling grill. Yeah, boy! All right, let's get right into this corned beef cook. Again, this is corned beef brisket, 10 pounds. Might as well say 11 pounds. And this is going to be, it's going to be a good cook. Oh man, you can already smell it, man. Oh man, you can smell it. Oh, you can smell that brine. You can smell that brine that they put on here. It's super intense. So there we go. Let me get rid of this. I'll be right back. All right, this is the packet that came with it. Looks like a typical pickling packet. Looks like it's probably like some coriander seeds, mustard seeds, bay leaves, crushed up bay leaves, stuff like that. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm not going to salt this brisket at all. I'm not trimming it. I'm not doing anything. It's already pretty nicely trimmed. Like this is a nice brisket. I got this brisket from Restaurant Depot, and I mean, man, if you could see, let me see if I could sit it up. If you could see the striations of fat in this thing, it's beautiful. The grains are running this way, so of course we're gonna cut it this way. So enough talking. I'm gonna take my little packet that came with it, and I'm going to sprinkle it on there. It's basically just pickling. It's not gonna be, it's basically just a bunch of seeds. I mean, just to give you that good old corned beef flavor. And I mean, for a 10-pound brisket, they only gave you this much. So I'm gonna add I may add a few things to it, pickling wise, to kick it up a little bit. Let me get all the ones on the side. All right, but let's start with the fat side down. Fat side up, rather. There is a film on here. But I'm not going to wipe it off. That's just basically the brine. Change of plans, guys. Change of plans. I was gonna go with just the basic brine that they have on here and not add anything to it, but I am gonna add some stuff to it because that little seasoning packet, that little pickling packet they gave me was nothing. So I'm going to go with a Cajun rub on it. It's not heavy in salt, but it'll give me some good color, darken it up a little bit, and add some flavor. So we're gonna call this some Cajun corned beef. And I mean, you just want to get on there. This Cajun seasoning has, of course, all your herbs and, you know, a lot of your spices. You want to get in there if you need to, get a glove. I would recommend you definitely put a glove on. And just work it in there. Just like you would do a regular brisket. All the way around. And I mean, this brisket is cut really nice. Like, you don't have to do any trimming on this brisket. This thing is... It's gonna be some nice corned beef. All right. All right. And of course, I was blessed enough to get some Fiesta number 16 Pitmaster ground black pepper. They sent me some of this. I don't know if it's in your stores yet, but if it is, go check it out. It's nice size black pepper, especially perfect for what you want to do with a brisket. And I'm gonna go heavy on it. Because, of course, you always go heavy on the black pepper on a brisket. And that's it. I'm just going to press that in, flip it over. I'm going to be cooking this fat side down. So this right here, I'm going to go a nice little heavy coat. And there we have it. I'm not going to do too much to it again. I mean, it's already seasoned. It's already brine, and the brine is probably... the brine that they use, I'm almost certain with the corned beef has a lot of salt in it. So be careful with that because you don't want to make it too salty. And then I'm going on with some black pepper. I'm going to let this brisket sit here for a minute and let some of the moisture come up and tack up the rub. And then we'll be back at the next step, which will probably more likely be putting it on the pit. Y'all stay tuned. All right, guys, y'all see it. I let it sit for about 20 minutes. It's not tacking up like I wanted to, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil all the way around. It's also gonna help me to get some nice, gonna help that color pop out. So it's that black pepper. Yeah, Cajun crusted corned beef, y'all. Let's put it on the pit. All right, today's cook will be a combination of a little bit of oak, and I've got a surprise wood today. I'm gonna use a little bit of apple. Usually with brisket, I use cherry. Cherry gives it a nice color, but apple also gives a really nice color. Not as dark as cherry, but it gives it a nice color. So that's what we're going with today. And of course, we're gonna go with some hardwood briquettes. Let's get this fire started. Put this brisket on and get to cooking. If you watched me cook brisket before, you know my process is the same. Or if you see me cook on this barrel before, my process is the same. Chimney starter full of charcoal briquettes. Choosing a little fire starter. And that's the simple process, man. No lighter fluid needed. That's gonna catch. Simple thing. Stick it on top. And in about 20-25 minutes, we're ready to dump them in the bottom and get this cook started. Guys, excuse the noise of the lawn care, man. But this is my brisket right here. This corned beef brisket is getting ready to turn into pastrami, y'all. So y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna show y'all exactly how to get it done. If I could talk over the landscapers. Y'all stay tuned. In a few hours, this will be pastrami. I want to give y'all a little view of what it looks like. This is only like 30 minutes in. Just wanted to give a little view. The color looks good. It's gonna be really nice. It's gonna have a nice dark bark on it when I'm done with it. And I'm staying right around 275. I don't want to go too high on it. We're gonna smoke it for about 5 hours. Then we're gonna stick that sucker in a foil pan and steam it out. All right, came out here. Just spray it down a little bit. It's been about 3 hours. You can see we're getting there. I need a lot more color than that. Water levels look good. I added a few more pieces of wood, so we good to go. I'm just gonna let it keep on rocking and roll. I may even flip it over for a little bit, pick up some color that way, but y'all stay tuned. That sucker's gonna come out real nice. All right, y'all. Hour number 4. Let's take a look at the brisket. Looking pretty good. Don't look too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and just see if I can do it with one hand. I'm gonna grab it. I'm just gonna flip it over. I generally don't ever flip briskets on this barrel, but I'm gonna flip this one over. Try to get some more color on the other side. And we're gonna keep rocking and rolling. I'm trying to take it to about 155 before I take it off and wrap it. All right, good people. We are 5 hours in. Getting that nice, beautiful dog bark. As you can see, it's starting to shrink up a little bit. Let me see if I can flip it over with my hand, see what it looks like over here. Ain't looking too bad. I'm gonna turn it over and let it sit on this side, flesh side up for about an hour. That'll give me 6 hours in, and then I'll temp it. I wanna take it off at like 155. I don't think I've reached that yet, but I'm gonna flip it over, and then I'll show y'all what's going on after that. Hey guys, this is day 2 of Let's Make Pastrami. I wasn't able to finish it yesterday. I had something pop up on me. I had to actually take this pastrami out and cool it down and put it in the refrigerator. So it's all good though. That just goes to show you, man, a brisket can handle. I've cooked and frozen many briskets and put many briskets in the refrigerator and finished them off later and always had no problem. So this is day 2 on pastrami. We're gonna now have it in a foil pan. Basically what I'm gonna do is just add a little au jus to the pan, and I'm gonna go ahead and steam it out. Take it to about 204, 205, and let's see what happens. Brisket marinade in this foil pan. You don't have to add anything. There's plenty of moisture still left in this brisket that you could just foil it up and stick it in there. But I always like to add a little brisket marinade. You could add a little water, chicken stock, whatever you want to add. So in the oven, it goes. All right, guys. Brisket's been in the oven probably about 3 hours now. I have to admit, I kind of forgot about it. It's I ramped it up to 290 degrees. But it's been in there for probably about 3 hours now. And I had to take into account that it was cold when I put it in there. So let's see what kind of temp we're looking at now. See if I can get it. I'm at about 196. I'm gonna take it to about 204 and I'm gonna take it out and rest. So 3 hours. I hit about 196 degrees. So it's probably gonna take me another 45 minutes to get where I need to get. So we'll keep on, let it rock and roll. All right, we're ready to go, man. Took about another 45 minutes to an hour, which as you can see, she's ready to go. Bark is nice, good and tender. As you can see, it pushed out a lot of au jus. Probably won't use that with the pastrami, but we're definitely gonna save it. So now we're just gonna let it rest. And then don't throw away that juice. By all means, save that for something later. That make go in some cabbage or something later on, but by all means, do not throw that away. All right, my pastrami is done. Total cook time probably about 8 hours. But I'm not looking for, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the refrigerator. And I'm gonna let it sit overnight, slice it up, put them on the flat top, make some good Reuben sandwiches tomorrow. So this is like a 3-day process for me. Would have been 2 days, but it's all good. We're gonna make it do what it do. Build this Reuben sandwich, pastrami Rueben. So, you know, of course, you got the Jewish rye. I got seeded. Of course, you could do unseeded. And I got baby Swiss. Baby Swiss is creamy. That's what I want. Of course, you got the sauerkraut. Nobody feels like making their own. And I'm not a fan of Thousand Island dressing, so I made a little faux file of Thousand Island dressing with Duke's mayo, Whataburger spicy ketchup, and stone ground mustard. And here it is right here. You could, of course, you know, go without it or just use some straight up yellow mustard. It's on you. So here's the brisket. Let's get slicing. All right, y'all. This is our corned beef pastrami, smoked pastrami, shall I say. It's been in the refrigerator overnight. It's real firm. I mean, you can tell it's real firm. The crust is real peppery. Our grains run this way. As you can see, this is the flat. This down here is the point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it like right here on the bias. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and do that. And it's real. All right. Let me turn those around. And there you have it. This is the point. That's part of this is a flat, and that's part of the point right there. And then this is the point in the flat. A little piece of the flat left and then a point. So I'm gonna go with the point. I'm gonna put this to the side. I'm gonna go with the point. I'm gonna cut it down the middle. And then look at that. Corned beef pastrami, y'all. Look at that. Beautiful, man. Look at that. You can see the little specks of fat in there. So let's go ahead and get to cutting. I'm gonna cut some pretty nice sized pieces. You could, of course, go thinner if you want to. I'm gonna make a little sandwich on the flat top, and I'm gonna stack it. Let me just go ahead and cut this whole thing up. All right, guys, sorry about that. I don't know how much of this slicing you guys saw because my camera is on the same table as my cutting board, so I'm gonna try to slice a little bit slower so that my camera doesn't move. But anyway, these are my thick slices of the point. Matter of fact, I'm gonna fan them out this way you can see them. Smoked pastrami, y'all. Look at that. Beautiful. You got a little piece of the flat and the point at the bottom, and you can see that fat in there. I like to freeze brisket a lot. I've done it in the past. They freeze really good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a sandwich with some of this point right here, and then I'm gonna slice this up. Just wanted to show something. I went and cut some more of this pastrami on a sturdier surface, and these are thinner slices, as you can see. But look at that beautiful peppery bark and that beautiful kind of like dark pink meat with that fat of that pastrami. Like, look at that, man. When you know when that thing hits this flat top, it's gonna be bananas. And then these are my thicker slices right here that I did. But look at that, man. And that's not even the whole pastrami. This was just a 10-pound pastrami. So just think about how many sandwiches we can get from this thing. And I haven't even cut the whole thing. So let's go ahead and get the sandwich made. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Here I just have a regular Blackstone 22-inch flat top. I love this thing. I mean, you can take this thing anywhere, pull up the tailgate, and go to cooking. So this is what I'm gonna do. I don't really have to, but I'm just gonna spray it down, just a light coat. And I'm gonna go with some of the thin sliced pastrami. And I'm just gonna put a few slices on the flat top, just a few slices. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go with more than a few slices. I'm gonna stack it up a little bit. We're gonna make a nice thick sandwich. And I got it on low heat. I'm just really trying to heat this through, not trying to go crazy with it. And you know what, let me go with one more. You know, when you go to Cat's Deli in New York, they stack that thing up high, but they're using a hot pastrami. We're warming this one back up. All right, so while the pastrami is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and put a few pieces of butter over here. And I'm gonna go ahead and start browning up my rye bread. Very important. All right, so we got that going. I'm gonna let that ride out for a little bit. Thousand Island dressing, we got that ready to go. Sauerkraut, we got that ready to go. Baby Swiss, we got that ready to go. Like I said, this is on low heat. This is already cooked. So we're really just trying to heat it through. And it ain't gonna take much heat. Once I get them heated through on both sides, then I'm gonna stack it. Look at that, falling apart like good pastrami should. Look at that. I mean, look at that. Yes, sir. So now I'm about to stack it. Now I'm about to start stacking them. Let that one heat through just a little bit. Hopefully y'all can see this. All right, now we're gonna stack it up real high. Look at that. That's our meat. So what we're gonna do, take some of our sauerkraut right on top. However much sauerkraut you like. It's all up to you. Then we're gonna take our baby Swiss. I'm doing 2 slices. We're going right on top with it. Now, to ensure that the cheese melts, you just want to cover it up a little bit. While we're doing that, let's check on our bread. Toast it up a little bit. Let's keep it going. Let's keep the toasting going. I'm gonna flip it over, toast it on both sides. Now I'm gonna cut my heat up just a little bit. And I think we're ready to go. Let's take a peek. It's not melted yet, it's getting there though. All right, y'all, let's check it out. See what our cheese, look at that. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. All right, y'all. At this point, cut the heat off. Get your spatula. Let's move this over. Look at that. We ain't even no meat on the grill. None. I'm gonna take that little piece myself. Put your top on, and you are ready to go, my friend. If you want to, you can flip that sucker over and toast the bread on the other side. But look at that. That thing is ready to go. So let's cut it up and check it out. All right, guys, I just want to show you what it looks like cut. That's it. And if you need some of that Thousand Island dressing, it's right there on the side. But I don't need any on mine. But look at that sandwich, man. Sandwich. Beautiful. So as always, I want to thank y'all for joining me here at the Rolling Grill. Good food, good vibes. Yeah, boy. All right, y'all. This is what I'm gonna do with it. Now that I've got it sliced, this is actually the flat. I didn't show the flat sliced. But best thing to do with it is vacuum seal it. What you do with the leftovers. Well, not the leftovers. This is what you do with it when you slice it. You vacuum seal it. And I can stick this boy in the freezer and do whatever I want to do with it later. But I'm taking this with us on a little trip. And there you have it, my friends. Good old vacuum sealed corned beef pastrami, ready for some sandwiches whenever I'm ready.